Hi there, and welcome back to another video. My name is Monica of Millie and Monica over on Poshmark, where I am a full-time seller, and today's video is one that is long overdue. I'm actually going to be giving you a tour of my Poshmark room, my office, my studio, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you are at all interested in reseller-related content, making money online, and of course selling clothing online, this is a really interesting video to watch because I am going to be showing you the tools that I use on the daily, how I store my items. I'm actually going to do a little shipping towards the end. So if all that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing to this channel and of course giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube. So I know that this video has been long requested and it's been a long time in the making. I guess this room that I'm going to show you today, it's in pretty organized. It's really pretty organized. It's taken me a really long time to build this. So, this intro is to kind of share what I'm going to be showing you today, but also to help you understand this has taken me, close to 2 years to build up, over 2 years to build up. I've been full-time for a year and a half, and I didn't always have this system in place. I didn't always have these organization practices in place, and it really has taken a long time to create. So I don't want you to think that I just did it all in a week, that I managed to do this quickly. It's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of energy. It's taken a lot of sweat, blood, and tears, quite literally. So if you're interested in any of the, supplies that you see, if you have questions about them, you can leave them down below. But I also have most of these items linked. So, my steamer, the scale, the Dymo, different shelving things that you see. I will have all that linked in my Amazon store so that if you want to check them out or find similar items, you can based on what I'm showing you. So hopefully that'll be helpful, and let's dive in. So to start with, this is the wall that you typically see behind me in my videos. And normally you probably only see that area-ish, but I do keep several things on this peg wall, and it is nice for organization. And as you can see, I have thread here in case I need to sew something up. Now, I did have all this thread, and I actually have way more because I did do some sewing. It's just kind of hobby sewing previously to being more of a Poshmark seller. So all of this was just from crafts and different things. I didn't go out and buy it. I did have it. And then just some decor, but also things that I do use, such as thank you notes if I need them, the thank you stickers, which I do use for pretty much all my items, and, some other little things for cleaning, and then buttons, and the Dymo, the scale, computer for shipping, etc. We'll move over to this side, which is where I basically have just a big white wall. Anything that I photograph is photographed on this wall. So if I hang it, it's getting photographed here. My modeled shots, anything that I put on the mannequin, it's all right in this area. I do have a couple different things here on the floor. So what this is I have a white rug that I stand on. It just kind of has what gives it one cohesive look. The white board is maybe for shoes sometimes. I often will actually use the chair. I will actually use that chair a lot for shoes, but certain boots and stuff, I do like just the plain white board as a background. So that's what that's for, but I do want to explain my desk a little bit more because I'm sure I'll get some questions. So this desk is truly pretty inexpensive to make. The top is just a board that we got at Menards and cut down, and then of course I've got six total of these little container crates that I get at a craft store. I think Michael's, Joann's, lots of places sell them, but there's 6 total, and they just serve as kind of little cubbies, and as well as the desk legs, but they just serve as storage really, so that they're the couple or the 3 on this side, they're more hidden storage for trash and anything else down in that area. And then if you noticed, I think this is pretty clever, but I have the M and M, so Millie and Monica. Millie is the dress form / mannequin. I think the correct the correct name is Dress Form, but Millie the mannequin has a nicer ring. So that is what's up with that. And moving on, I do have a mirror over on the side, and the mirror is more just so when I'm modeling, I can kind of check to see if things are, you know, on right. Did I miss a button? Is it kind of laying oddly? So it's nice to have the mirror on hand. And then this little storage piece is actually a newer addition, and I absolutely love this. So I am able to keep all my different size poly mailers, or my clear ones, for when I pre-pack my items, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. The main size that I use is actually this top one here. So if you're in my Amazon store and you're wondering which size I actually use the most of, it is the 10 by 13. These are a little bit smaller for like lightweight blouses, tops, hats, stuff like that. And then this bigger one is great for heavy sweaters, sometimes jackets will fit in, heavy jeans, etc. And then this is just my eBay poly mailers. And all the rest of these are just, you know, little different shoes, cleaning supplies. You can probably notice some things that I talk about. So any type of leather work or shoe work, a lot of this stuff comes into play. And again, more thread and cleaning products. This is just where I throw in, you know, an extra measuring tape, but these are for shoes, which I know I've talked about in another video. But it's nice to have them right beside where I do shoes so that I can just reach over and grab them. Extra tape, of course, and thank you little earring thingies, and just kind of a junk drawer, which is always good to have a space for all of that stuff that adds up and clutters up a space. So yeah, I definitely like plants if you hadn't noticed. Something that maybe isn't like a given or something that would maybe be like understood is maybe you can tell I have a window off to the side over here, and that brings in a lot of natural light. So I typically photograph during this afternoon natural light period of time when the light just comes in from the side over here onto the wall, and it just is really nice. I don't need to use a whole lot of artificial ring light. I do have the ring light, but I really only use the ring light for modeled shots and when I do YouTube videos. So otherwise, I just use the natural light that comes in during the afternoon. Okay, so we are going to flip around. And actually, we're going to flip around to this side. So you probably saw that there's a curtain off area. That's just the closet. In the closet is just extra storage. It's mostly storage for hanging stuff. So heavy coats, bulky coats, blazers, jean jackets, all of that. It goes in the closet, and then extra shoes, storage, and stuff like that. Now, over here, you're just seeing more shipping supplies. A bulk of my shipping supplies is actually my laundry room, where I keep most of the big boxes because I don't have room in here. But I do like to keep my padded my padded priority mailers that I use for like eBay and stuff in here because it's just easy to grab them. I use them more frequently than boxes anyway. And then just a little cleaning storage bucket. These buckets I did get at Target in kind of like their like dollar section. And then this drawer is like tissue paper and my priority, just the tie back mailers, which I use often, so they just get kept there. This is just sweater storage because a lot of the sweaters are harder to put in my bins, which I will be showing you in a second. So instead of bulking up the bins with these heavy sweaters, I just have this nice little cube, and that works out nicely. So if you can get kind of a better view, I know it's kind of hard to tell because this room is relatively small. I can't get back all that far to show you everything. So there's maybe a better look at what's going on in this area of the room, but beside that is obviously my steamer. Now, I've had this steamer, it'll be 2 years this spring or summer. So it's February now, and I've had it for a good year and a half. It's been working really well, and I use it all the time. In my Amazon store, I've linked the same one, but it's gray and not this teal-ish turquoise. I don't know if they still make this color, but I've had good luck with the steamer. I think it's around $80, and it's got its different settings. So for different types of materials, and for the most part, I really enjoy it and like it. So yeah, on the door I do have more hanging shoe storage for more flats and such. And of course the ring light, which I was just talking about a little bit. Behind the ring light here is, of course, some hanging clothing. And this is just where I kind of organize certain things that, you know, I need to list, I need to steam, because obviously it's right there, which is really handy. But some of this stuff is also maybe been listed, I just haven't put it away. A few things have been listed and not put away. This stuff is stuff that I need to take to consignment. There's kind of a section here that needs to go into consignment. So it's just a kind of a catch-all for different things, but I definitely mostly use it to hang stuff up before I steam it, and that's what's going on there. I do have a little bit of storage up here, which is mostly a bin for like scarves and swimsuits and really lightweight items that I don't want to lose in my other bins, but then purses as well. And then down below is my shoe bins. So I do kind of have my shoe bins organized, like tall boots, ankle boots, and then I just kind of keep track of which one other shoes go in. But my shoe storage is not the most, maybe the most organized, because shoes take up a lot of space and I don't have a lot of room. So this is my spare bedroom. I don't know if I've ever said that, but this is my spare bedroom. We only have one spare bedroom, so we have a 2-bedroom, and I don't have a lot of other space to store anything. So everything needs to be in this room, and I do keep around 1,000 items. I'm at like 1,028 right at the moment. So everything needs to really be stored in here. I don't store items outside of this room. I just store like shipping boxes in our laundry area. But so here's where everything else gets stored. And it is quite a bit. So I like uniformity. So I really like having all clear bins. It helps me see in the bins. Now, although my items have a number, clear bins just kind of give me that little extra sense of where something might be at in case of any issue, but also I just like, it just makes it a little bit more open looking. So I used to always have like these IKEA boxes, which they don't make anymore. They did not hold up very well for the amount of items that I needed to put in them, and they made the rooms feel very dark, whereas these clear bins just make it feel nice and light. So regardless, let me explain what is going on with this storage system. So I do have numbers. I just use a number-based system. I don't worry about letters. That's never really made sense to me. I've tried to do letters and numbers, and that just did not work out. I like having a number, and I do 1 through 40. So that means there's 40 items in a bin. Okay, so 1 through 40, 41 through 80, you know, etc. moving forward. That really works well for me. Because I do keep those most of the bulky items elsewhere in the closet and on the shelf, I am able to get a lot of items in a bin. You can tell that some of them are a little overflowing, and I just don't keep the lids on them, which is kind of a perk of using the clear baggies to store them in, because then I can just leave the lids off and I don't need to worry about items getting kind of snagged, I guess. That would be my main concern because of these shelves. If I were to leave the tops off with items not in the baggies, you know, they might get snagged or pulled or whatever. But when they're pre-packed like this, you know, I don't have to worry about it, and I can fit as much as I possibly can into the space that I have. So I know there's, you know, a lot of people who do things differently. This is just one way to store your items. This is what works for me in my small space. And, you know, take what you can from this video and try to apply it to your own space and your own situation. When I first started selling, I used, you know, whatever bins I had laying around. I did not pre-pack them. I just put them in a bin. But now I find that this is what works best for me. Now, you may have just lots and lots and lots of questions. I will try to answer them as best as I can down below. But with my numbered system, I do recycle the numbers. So at the end of the month, you know, I go through the numbers that I used, and then I recycle them for the next month's items. And that's worked really, really well for me for over a year. But you just have to come up with a system that's going to work for you. You know, watch multiple videos on storage systems, and you will figure out a system that works for you. I took bits and pieces from lots of other sellers to create a system that worked for me and my space. So in a little bit, we'll see I have a list here of some items that I need to pull from this storage system, but I do have it continued over onto this wall. So this is the wall with the window. So it is going to be maybe a little bit harder to see. This is some eBay shipping and then that I've done, and I need to do the rest of my Poshmark shipping. So we're coming full circle here. This is a table that I just like to use for new stuff that I'm bringing in that maybe, you know, it hasn't been photographed, it hasn't gone through, or etc. So you can see that I did a little bit of sourcing, and I've photographed some of this, but I haven't put it away yet. And then I need to continue photographing. So that's what the table is, just kind of an extra catch-all, and not everything's laying on the floor. And then underneath we have my inventory system continued. This old IKEA box actually in the corner is home goods that I don't really need to get into that corner very often. It's an awkward spot. But then the rest of this is, I have another shoe bin there on the very bottom, and then I have my numbers going up to 880. So everything else, you know, is shoes that's not numbered, and jackets and heavy things that are hanging are not numbered. I just kind of have them organized so that I can find them. So hopefully seeing this is helpful. I am, like I said, going to start pulling those items that I need to ship for Poshmark, and so you can kind of see what I'm pulling and how this works. I will say that if you have a similar system, you know that the items or the bins on the top shelf can get pretty heavy. I should have a stool, but I don't. A stool will definitely make it easier for me to pull those items off the top. And if you know, if you have back issues or such, you'd need to make it so that you're not pulling these heavy bins at the top, because they do get heavy. And as far as the shelves, I do want to mention these shelves. I did get these at, I think, Home Depot a few years ago, and I don't know if they still make them, but they're a really deep shelf. Like, I'm not sure if you can tell, maybe from this side. They're a really deep shelf to hold, you know, that bin. And in my Amazon store, I've linked a very similar shelf. It's black. That was like the only shelf I can find that's as deep as this one to hold these containers. What I like about these particular shelves is they're really easy to put together. Like, you take that out of the box and you put these little cylinders together, and they just kind of pop in there. They've been really sturdy and really good. And whenever my husband and I decide to move, they're going to be really easy shelves to just kind of break down. You know, we don't have to worry about the weight or the heaviness or the awkwardness of moving these shelves out. It's going to be super, super easy. So that's what I love about the shelves, and they've done really well at holding up to this amount of bins and storage. So I'm going to go into pulling items now.